Okay, we're going to call to order the meeting. Out of respect, turn off all cell phones and remove all hats. We'll have a moment of silence and the pledge of allegiance. Okay, I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any changes to the minutes of the meeting on the 6th? Do we have an approval? Okay,
Jerry, I have one thing about that. As I indicated in the last meeting about the electrically set up for outside for the cars for the future, Gail asked me to go by myself. I don't think it's right by myself. I need somebody with me for a two-man contest, and the board approval will do that.
Rich, I don't think those are in the April 6th minutes. That's the 20.
I'm sorry. My mistake.
okay, we will address that later, in the next meeting, because that was in the 6th. That was not in the 6th minutes. Okay, we'll go to correspondence and Val will be reading that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, the Board of Directors received this correspondence on April 16th. Dear board members, I attended the workshop on April 6th and am following up with comments and suggestions. Number one, I think advisory committees is a great idea. Number two, an activity committee needs to be added to the ones already mentioned. I play both shuffleboard and pickleball. The shuffleboard courts just got repainted and look great. However, court one still plays slowly and probably needs professional attention. We sorely need dedicated pickleball courts to stay current with other communities, especially as the sport continues to grow in popularity. Number three, regarding the pool rules, I don't think it has to be black and white. When the pool is crowded, limit the numbers of floaty chairs. If someone wants to swim laps for exercise, specify a time. People can do that. If someone wants to try a new snorkel mask and fins, they should be able to try at a time the pool is not busy, either the first thing AM or before closing. This accommodates all seniors and keeps everyone happy and should not be difficult to follow. Again, an activity committee could make suggestions. 4, since we are paying members but seasonal, I don't understand why we cannot participate on the committees or the board for that matter. With modern technology, programs like Zoom make participation easy. I feel you are limiting the committees and the board from a whole section of qualified members. Thank you for taking the time to read my thoughts. I hope they are helpful and can be seriously considered. Cassandra Burgess on Dinsmore. Thank you for your submission. The next letter I'm going to read was received on April 27th at the office. Brookridge Board of Directors. My name is Barbara Beltran. I spoke at your last workshop meeting concerning your liaisons committee. I thought the committee liaison was a great idea, but didn't see where the below activities would fit in any of the listed committees. I would like to propose an additional outside activities or recreational liaisons committee. This committee would be concerned with tennis, pickleball, shuffleboard, bocce ball, the swimming pool, and there is also a bicycling group. Any outdoor activity. I would like to be the liaison for the group and could get it started. I enjoy several of these activities and would love the opportunity to meet people from the other groups and share ideas with you, the board, as to how to improve the quality of these activities. Improvement in all these different areas would hopefully get more people involved within our community and encourage new residents. My husband, Manuel, and I have lived in Brookridge for 3 years. We previously lived in High Point for close to 8 years. We have been remodeling our residence on Dinsmore and have not gotten too involved with the community. This is another reason I would like to be involved, so I would have the opportunity to meet other residents. Since being retired, I've enjoyed outdoor activities, kayaking, pickleball, bicycling, and a little golf, and my young grandsons. In my previous life, I was a responsible adult. I retired from the Licking County Health Department and the Licking County Board of Elections in Ohio. I was also Madison Township Clerk for 22 years. Duties of the clerk included being their financial person and secretary. This public service was an elected position that involved 5 successful campaigns. In my varied background, I learned to work with and for people and am capable of the organization of the aforementioned committee. Hopefully, you will also see the benefit of this recreation committee that will encompass another section of our Brookridge community. Thank you for your consideration, Barbara Beltran. And thank you for your submission.
This is Barbara here, thank you for that. Okay, my report for today is going to be, we're going to start taking, well, first of all, let me explain my condition. 3 weeks ago, I had a heart attack and a stroke. But mainly I'm there, and I'm having a hard time with the walking and things like that. And I want to give a couple of thanks out here. First of all, I want to thank Gil for taking my spot at the first 2 meetings, and then I want to thank Cindy for taking care of me and getting me out of the hospital. So. And I appreciate all the support. Okay, we're going to start taking cash next. Well, for the month of June, but we're going to start taking cash for all the assessments next month. They'll be back down there because Vivian's okay with it because she's been doing the checks and stuff already, so we're okay with that. And then we still got resumes coming in, and we're trying to limit one committee person per committee. That way, there's more open slots for everybody. Okay, and then through the end of this month, we're gonna give we're just gonna give warnings out for the SUV parking, the trucks and vans that park out in front of the, like in that front road where the golf carts are at, and then we'll start with violations after that. Okay, and then as far as the LED lights, we're concerned. I've done research on them and I found out that they already have a program in place for that to replace the lights. The problem with the CPA, why we've not gotten report yet is because they had a death in the family and this kind of stuff, and they've asked for an extension of 14 days to get it right. That's the only reason we're late with that part, which I don't like, but anyway, that's the best way we do it. And I met with the pickleball people last, I think it was was it last week or week before last? Okay, we met with them last week and they wanted a dedicated court out here. And we decided to, well, what she recommended, what the lady that's president of the pickleball wanted something different. So, okay, we're gonna try to do the nets that don't blow over, because that was what I was complaining about, and redo the line so you can see better. Okay, and then there's some mistake on the agenda. Oh, it said where Gil had up here, acting president's report, supposed to be me instead of Gil. But we solved that problem already. Okay, as far as unfinished business goes, we're looking at the health committee and the advisory committee have some openings still on it. Okay, go ahead, Gil.
The first committee,
Barely.
the first committee that we're going to talk about is the Health Advisory Committee. Now, you can't hear me. How's this? Okay. I'm not tall enough. Okay. Okay, top is the appointment of 2 residents to the Health Advisory Committee. And the Health Advisory Committee was established at the last board meeting workshop on April 6th. Resumes that were submitted and reviewed, and Jerry reviewed all of them. And at this point, for the Health Advisory Committee, we only need a couple of people. There were 4 people that have asked to be on it. At this point, the only mission that the Health Advisory Committee has is to getting Brookridge up again. And they're going to be looking at the figures and things like that. So my recommendation and my motion is to appoint Roberta Broder and Thomas Freeman to the Health Advisory Committee. And Jerry knows both of these people. He's spoken with both of these people, and he feels that this is the best, that these 2 people would be sufficient at this time to take on that charge. So I move that we appoint Roberta Broder and Thomas Freeman to the Health Advisory Committee.
Second.
Okay, Val Stratton was the second. Any discussion over those 2?
Okay. I wanted to thank Arlene for sending us the,
You think you missed them? Thank you.
I want to thank Arlene for sending us the resumes, and I agree that when a person puts in for more than one committee, let's start them off in just one. And I'm very happy that these 2 are being put forth to be on this committee.
They're actually in the health profession.
Any more questions? Anybody from the audience want to talk?
You gotta come to the mic.
Name your unit number.
My name is Sandy Pond, I'm in Unit 2.
Okay.
My question is the person that's applying for 2 committees and they're qualified and other people haven't stepped up to it, is that person gonna be denied? Because they're well overqualified for it?
Well, some of the people, I've got to answer that. Some of the people that qualify for 2 committees, when they meet for one, like the health advisory committee could probably meet one time, so they'll be eligible for the second one after that. Okay, thanks for the question. Thanks for the question. Okay, any other questions, or can we have a vote now?
Jerry, I just want to thank everybody, thank Arlene for getting those things out on the resumes, on the, online. I appreciate it. Very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, or do we need to vote now? Do I have a show of hands?
All in favor?
All those in favor? Aye.
Motion carries.
Yeah, also.
Thank you.
Next.
Okay, motion
Six,
carries.
sorry.
Yeah, we're 6 again.
What's that?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. I like you better down here, I can see better. Than when you're-
Okay, next is the appointment of 3 residents to the advisory committee. The advisory committee was established at the last board workshop on April 6th. Resumes were submitted and reviewed. And I would like to recommend the appointment of Steve Fasano, Mike Heffernan, and Michael Green to the advisory committee. Now, I know that we don't have a formal resume from Mike Green, but Jerry has been speaking with him about IT issues, and he felt that he would be a good person to have on this committee also.
Do we have any discussion?
I move to appoint Steve Fasano, Mike Heffernan, and Mike Green to the advisory committee.
Okay, do I have it?
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Rosemary. Do we have any discussion? Anybody from the audience? Okay, do we have a vote? All in favor, raise your right hand.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Motion carried.
All 6.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have new business, the ACC changes.
Okay. ACC changes. I'm gonna start with one real quick. ACC guidelines, Article 3.05 driveways. Update the ACC guidelines to streamline processing. Changes to Article 3, Section 3.05 driveways, see attached. And make my comment, Gary, you mind step up? Gary is the chairman of the ACC. He'll give you exact information on the changes for the driveways. Thank you, Harry.
Hold on.
Go on.
Okay, do I have a motion on that?
Motion to approve the ACC changes as submitted.
I second.
Okay, seconded by Metcalf. Okay, now discussion.
Good morning. You have the requested changes in front of you. And just by a quick means of clarification, there are 2 separate sections for these things. One is for, deals with concrete, specifically the concrete and the limitations of the amount of concrete in the right of way. That is the phrasing that has always been used, because the idea of the right of way being 15 feet has been accepted as gospel. And in fact, it's not true. There are a number of homes in Brookridge where the right of way is not 15 feet. Some are shorter, some are longer. And not such a long time ago, we had an situation where a resident had submitted an application for some concrete work. And because of this, there was a real issue. Captain Schubert, in fact, came to me and asked if we would revise this to reflect the problem and how to circumvent the problem. So what we've done is, when we're talking about the amount of concrete, which by the way is 360 square feet, in the first 15 feet, we have eliminated the term right of way from reference to that aspect of the rule. Okay? We have left the term right of way in place on an earlier section where it refers to length of cars or vehicles and the appropriate length of the driveway, and that's fine. While we were at it, we cleaned up the article to some degree. For example, in the article, it made reference to the fact that you should refer to ACC Article 3.37. Article 3.37 doesn't exist. There is no such thing. So we eliminated it. So to kind of bring it back up to speed here, it's a matter of clarifying and using 15 feet rather than the term ROW or right of way for the concrete limitations. Okay. The second one concerns jacuzzis and hot tubs. And some years ago, a change was made to the ACC guidelines that indicated that hot tubs were not to be installed in front of the rear plane of the home. I know that sounds a little convoluted, but what it basically means, you're going to be in the back of the house. Specifically, that rule was put in place because they wanted to eliminate and prevent people from installing hot tubs, for example, just on the side of the yard, in the right of way, or excuse me, in the setback, or just on the side of the home. However, all the good intentions paving the road to hell, they didn't take into consideration the fact that there are other places in a home where the installation of a jacuzzi or a hot tub is not only, or should be allowed, in fact is allowed, and in fact may very well be the best place. And that would be in a lanai, in a covered porch, or even in a carport. As long as it's on the roof, we really don't have the authority to say no to those things. So the addendum that you'll see in front of you regarding the hot tubs and jacuzzis doesn't change the standing statement about their being installed only at the rear of the home, with the exceptions being under the roof of existing lanais, carports, or side porches. Okay? So, in behalf or on behalf of the other members of the ACZ committee, we ask that you would consider this approval of these two changes, which we think will make things a lot easier for the residents by clarification and explanation.
One thing here we're talking about, all driveways shall permit a full-size 20-foot car. Okay, the term car will be a vehicle. We have in our establishment here in Brookridge some 22-foot long vehicles. You have a 3/4 ton, 1 ton, 4-door extending cab, 22 feet long. Suburban is actually about 19.8. If you put a permanent wheelchair rack in the back, you're up to 20 feet. That's a permanent.
Yeah.
So we revise that to vehicles now.
Right, we changed that from the word car to vehicle. Okay? Thank you very much. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thanks, Harry. Clarification.
Hey, does anybody have any questions they would like to ask? On the second one? Any questions from the audience? Vote to approve it. Vote to approve. All in favor with, raise your right hand.
I'm left-handed, what can I say?
Any opposed?
Lost 6.
Okay, it's unanimous vote. Okay, the second new business is a new club with oh. Let's have a vote on the,
Okay. We'll have to just time Kelly, and I'm not trying to take over, but, Rich did not, we only addressed the guidelines for the driveway. What confused is Harry gave information for both topics. That's where the confusion is coming in. Yeah, it's your fault.
Sorry.
Well, I apologize too, I probably should have separated on the
And that,
agenda
yes, and
also.
I'll need second, because she did not separate
Yeah.
them.
So if we
I'll
have
take
a
the
vote
blame
for
on
the
that
second
one,
one
too.
on the jacuzzi issue. We
Right.
voted for the first one, right?
Right,
Yes, so you're gonna use that, now you're gonna talk about the jacuzzi.
Now you need to make a motion.
Jacuzzis,
yeah, so somebody make a motion.
just the term jacuzzis, as Harry indicated, the placements, and of course, under the lanai, we have them under the carport, yes. It's under roof, and that's what the issue is all about. And, as long as it's under roof, if we have jacuzzis that are already under roof in the carport, we want to stay with that and just work along those issues, but nothing outside the line in the back of the house, that we can't have that, has to be set up properly. Harry, was going to comment on that?
Hold on. We didn't make a motion in a second for that. You have to make a motion in a second, because they're two different topics.
Okay, proposed motion to approve AC changes as submitted on the jacuzzis. Thank you.
okay, the second motion made by Rich Stratton, second by Val Stratton. Any discussion on the jacuzzis?
Harry, you want to give a few comments on that?
Just did.
Okay, you good.
I just want to reiterate that, strangling my ears, that there still will have to be 20 feet. If you put it in the carport, there still has to be a 20-foot space that's open, correct, Harry?
Yes, Al. A separate rule is that there needs to be 20 feet of usable, unobstructed space in the carport. Can't have air conditioner in the way, can't have stairs in the way, by the same token, neither can you have a jacuzzi in the way. So if someone submits an application to install a jacuzzi or a hot tub in their carport, one of the things that they need to provide to the committee is showing the dimensions of where it's gonna go, and that will determine the approval or rejection of the application.
Thank you.
I have one question for you too, Harry.
Yes, sir.
Is there gonna be a wall built between on the carport where you put your, hot tub? Is there gonna be a wall then, so it's not visible from the road?
No, and we have no requirements like that for any hot tub that's installed in the rear of the home, or if they're on a lanai, or if they're in a porch. So no, that has not been put in. Could be, obviously, if it was something.
The only thing
that's a
I-
problem, but
The only thing I feel is that I don't wanna sit in my house and look at somebody else's hot tub. That's why I asked.
more than likely, they don't want to sit in the hot tub having you looking at the meter. So that's just my guess.
You don't know me that well.
Well, it's not.
Okay, I just have some questions. When I had researched this also, the reason why it was put in so that it couldn't be in the front of the house was because people could see people across the way. I wouldn't have a problem if it was in a front porch or a lanai. I'm from the north, I call them a porch. Where you've got the screening and you really can't see in that well. I just have a problem with it being under the carport and it's completely seen by the road. And I believe that is why it was changed, so it had to be behind the house, so that people wouldn't see, the term was frolicking in the hot tub. But we don't know, I mean, this is the reason why, and it was for the beauty of Brookridge. And that is my understanding as to why it had been changed in the first place. I don't have a problem with it being in the front if it's covered, if there's a screening, or if they put the, you know how you have to have the lattice work on the side, if you're gonna put anything in there besides your vehicle. If there was lattice work, so that you can have your hot tub, but it's not really visible from the front.
Sure. You may recall, we had a couple of incidents, one in particular during your reign, where we had a medical issue.
Yeah.
The person absolutely needed the tub because, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely.
And the committee, in making this change, was not intended, and frankly, the committee doesn't have the authority to arbitrarily start adding things such as that, okay? Those things are the purview of the board. And if that's one of the issues, or if that is a concern of the board, and the board wants to have that installed, we could certainly put that in and revisit the issue at the next time around, or whatever. Certainly. A
That's the
legitimate
only way,
concern.
yeah, that's the only way that I would be comfortable with having the hot tub under the platform.
Okay, and
That's what
if
the board said.
it is rejected, if you would, the right way is to inform our liaison, of course, who will inform us, and then we can make the revision after that.
Let me ask you then, if we made a provision that will allow it, as long as there's screening, there's something in front of it, would that be amenable to the ACC board?
Certainly, the ACC will simply enforce the rules as they are laid in front of them. They have no latitude on those kinds of.
I guess I'm asking you incorrectly. Would it be advantageous to people that want to put it in, under the carport to have, would there be an issue with people being able to do that?
Oh, I can't imagine it. We could,
Okay.
because if we were to do that, we would be very specific about the types of screening that we would allow. So you've got to determine whether or not we're gonna talk about something permanent or semi-permanent, like lattice, for example.
Yeah.
Or if someone just wanted to put up sort of a room divider type screen. And I know of a couple that have that sort of.
Yes.
But at this point, it's not addressed, and that's why it does need to be. Okay?
All right, thank you. Do we want to table this and let him take this back to the ACC? Would that be, I hate to table stuff. That's what I'm asking. If we amend it, and if the board wanted to amend it, to say if there's screening there, I don't think that we would have to table it, it's just a direction that we give them. That's why I asked the question, Mary.
Okay, well, the only concern I would have there, Gail, is by saying we need it to be screened is much too ambiguous for the ACC. We want things clearly spelled so that when someone is considering one of these things, it's clear to them what they need to do in order to.
And that's what the ACC would give those additional guidelines.
Yes.
Because you have that, and we could give you direction.
Yes.
It can't be just something that I would want to not see it. But I can see mine, and they can see, and, you know, the way that the houses are set up.
Yeah.
When you're sitting in your living room, you can see across, and they can see across, and I just don't want them to have a problem with that.
And that's,
And then you come back with specific guidelines.
sure, we would be
But
delighted to
you've
do
done
that.
that, I mean, the ACC has done that many times in the past.
Absolutely, but there's not a lot of sense in approving this request at the moment without, maybe it's time to table it so that we could put those
Okay,
revisions in there.
Okay.
And then
let
bring
us
it back
know
the next
then.
time around.
The screening could be, screening could be on the outside of the wall for the carport, from the carport, as far as coming in, but the side that you use the house, keep that open so they can access back and forth, without going through a door with a wheelchair or a walker. You can't see that part, you see the side, the front, but you don't see the access coming in off your door, coming into the hot tub.
Right, and I guess that's where the ACC can look at that.
Yeah, that's it exactly. For example, we wouldn't just say it needs to be screened. We would say it needs to be screened from the side, from the front, as we do, for example, a commercial vehicle or something like that.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Okay, any other questions? I see that Paul has a question.
Hi, Paul Campbell, Unit 2. Gail, you're telling me that if you can have a hot tub in the back of the house, it doesn't need to be screened in, but yet it does have to if it's in the carport. Right now, you're saying that the hot tub behind the house is okay,
That is
so that the people behind them can see them, the people aside of them can see them, the people aside of them can see them, vice
Those
versa.
are, and that's why we
But yet,
bring
you
it up.
want the other one to be screened in. Well, why doesn't the one behind the house have to be screened in? You've got someone walking the whole way around the house to get to their back hot tub.
Article 331, jacuzzi hot tub shall not be placed in front of the back wall, example, rear plate of the home. Rear plate, from side to side, rear plate, it should not be put in front of that. 331, jacuzzi hot tub says that. Rear plate of the home, nothing.
Rich, I'm on the ACC, I know what the rule says. So, but what I'm saying is, the rule first said, any hot tub can be put behind the house, behind the rear of the rear plane of the house, with no screening, no nothing around it. Now you want to move the hot tubs into the carport, but you want them screened. So, somebody putting a hot tub can either put it outside with no screening, and be seen by everyone behind them, but you don't want it to be seen while it's in the carport.
We do, most of our rules,
Two different,
it's two different issues.
yes.
It is two different issues, because the rules and regulations are to have the beautification of Brookridge, okay? There are certain things that you can put in the back that you cannot put in the front, okay? And I'm likening that to that type of rule. There are things that you can do in the back that you cannot do in the front. So whatever's in the back has been there, they want to bring it back to the front. And
Right.
there are different rules for the front, because it's people.
I understand that.
So that would be
two different
within.
issues.
Right.
But now you're gonna have someone who wants to put a hot tub in, which has been an issue. And if they put it in the back, other people can see it. You're saying that people don't wanna see it. Well, they can see it.
Okay, but if you want it, but we haven't had them in the front. I guess that's.
I think a lot of people put hot tubs on the side, either screen them in or plants or something, because they really don't want to be seen by the neighbors either. There's a reason to put the hot tub in.
Exactly, so all we're asking is that the ACC review and really think of both sides of the issue. that there are things you could do in the backyard that you cannot do, and you cannot put in the front yard. There is a reason for that, and that is the beautification of Brookridge. Okay, when you're driving by, when people are coming by, that is what they see. They don't see what's in the backyard. And I believe that's why they allowed it still to be in the backyard, so that somebody could have it. It's the same thing as the things that you have, you know, your sheds. They're not allowed in the front yard, but they're allowed in the front yard. There's in the backyard. There is a reason for that, and it's called the beautification of Brookridge. And that's all I was comparing it to. All I'm asking is that they have some kind of screening
The sheds are also allowed under the carport too.
under the carport. Yes, I do know that.
Any other discussion about that?
One more for me, please. I do notice that, okay, it does say under roof in an existing enclosed lanai. So once these things are enclosed, we really can't tell them what they can put into it, right? Or an existing enclosed porch. So could we put in an enclosure in the carport?
That's what I'm saying, because they can be put in screen porches and stuff. That's why I asked the question. It wasn't to stifle anybody. It is to conform with everything else. And that's if they have something in front, you're not going to be seeing them all the time. So just what you said, just what you read is what I wanted to bring it to the carport also, yeah.
Could we amend this motion or whatever, that to put in an enclosure in the carport?
That is what I asked. Now, what Harry has said is that he would like us to, if we want to do that, that he would like to come back with the type of enclosures. That is the only reason why I would table that.
Okay.
That we would like them to come back with the type of enclosure. That's the only reason I would table that.
Any other discussion? That's Wayne. Wayne in the back there. Morning.
Morning. Good job.
I got it, Rich.
Hello? Hello. Jack McLean in Unit 1. I heard the discussion on the backyard, and I took offense by that. Beautification, I had a circumstance of my own private unhappiness, where I had to look at somebody's backyard, pile high with junk and wood. And yes, that is something that all Brookridge should be aware of. The backyards do that.
Thank you, Janet.
Okay.
Rich, would you be willing to table table your motion till, is any more discussion?
I think we'll do here, we'll table it, as Harry mentioned, we will, or make a motion on it, to look over the idea of screening it in with, actually screening, lattice, so it'll all be spelled out exactly what it is. Both sides and the front of the area to be covered with the material for the hot tub in the actual carport.
As the second, I would second that.
Appreciate that, thank you very much, Gail.
All in favor of tabling the motion, raise your right hand, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously.
And Harry, thank you for your time, we'll get it taken care of, thank you. Thank the board.
Okay, the next new business is about a new club called the Steak Shoot.
What about the hot tub? The very,
Well, that gets tabled because that person, because they don't know it's gonna be there.
oh, okay.
We've got a request for a new club formation. As per Brookridge SOP 2.1, residents wishing to start a club shall write a letter to the board of directors with their request and should include pertinent information such as name of proposed club, officers, etc. Two residents, Joan Shepherd and Elizabeth Rodier, wish to form a new club called Steak Shoot and have submitted an appropriate paperwork. First, I'm gonna make a motion to accept formation of the new club Steak Shoot. If we could have a second to, for discussion.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Rich Stratton.
First of all, is either Joanne or Elizabeth here today? Okay. All right, if one or both of you would like to come up. If you could state your name and your unit number if you know it. Joanne Shepherd. I don't know what you mean. That's you're on Burn Salisbury, okay. Just hold it, hold it this way, yeah, okay. Okay, so you're Joanne Shepherd, yes I am. Okay. And she lives over on Salisbury.
Okay, could you explain what the State Shoot exactly is, so the people in the audience, plus we will know what it's all about?
Okay, you're gonna be receiving or you're going to choose 3 laminated cards from a deck of cards. Okay? You
Okay.
choose,
Yeah, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry, you choose the ones you want. It could be a 2 of clubs, a 1 of hearts, king of spades. But you choose the card you want. The card costs $8. For that $8, you pay for the whole, for the whole day, or the whole time that we set. The caller of the cards starts calling. Ace of spades, if you have an ace of spades, you put it down, kind of like bingo, except once you get the 3 cards that you've got, you yell steak, and you receive a choice. We will have steak, we will have chicken, we will have bacon, we will have ham. And every person who wins will be able to walk away with some type of meat. And at the end, we have 2 bonus rounds, which you'll get a little bit more. More meat.
Okay, normally the way that the board gets the request is that you would have to fill out a form that said the president, the vice president, is getting money, and a treasurer and a secretary. Okay. I don't see that, and those of us that have been on the board before know what that form is, and you would just explain a little bit. So do you have your 4,
Yes, I have people.
you have your people, are they all Brookridge residents?
Yes.
Okay. And so it would be $8 to play.
$8 to play, and that's for the entire 20 games.
Yeah,
The total is 28 games.
okay. And the $8, would that all go back to the people, or is there,
It goes to buy the meat.
it goes to buy the meat?
Yes.
Is all of that money used? Is there leftover?
That we're hoping only to keep perhaps 10% of that. The treasurer will keep running total of that, and that would be for things like extra cards if we would need them, or extra lamination if we would need them, that type of thing.
Okay, so there's no payout
No,
to
no,
the,
no care. And we need it for
Right.
startup,
okay, but it would all be going back into
the meat.
okay, so it would all be going back into, to the game itself. There
Right.
would be a pot someplace that you know, you said 10%, like.
Well, we're gonna be going out,
But that's to buy the
the
supplies,
right,
right, the prices and stuff.
I have a question. Would you, have a throw down, would you have a, supply coffee and say soda to charge people?
no, what we're gonna do is, have everybody bring their own, whatever they would choose, food or beverage. I also want everybody to know that we're gonna be picking the meat from very, reputable places like, Murphy's and, Carlisle, yes, Carlisle and Publix and Winn-Dixie, so the food will be coming from very reputable places.
And I'm going to assume that there is a spot for you.
Yes, there is on Sundays at 2:00, from 2 to 5,
Okay. And which part of the hall? I know you're going to need
the South Hall.
it'll just be the south
Mhm.
hall.
Unless we get overrun with people who love coming to fix you.
Okay, Vince, is there any issue with the setup of the hall or anything? Or did I catch you off guard?
Pretty much.
I'm sorry.
There is an issue with this setup though,
There is an issue with the
because
setup.
right now you have singles mingles starting at 6 on two Sundays, and there might be an issue with the 5 o'clock.
We'll be gone by 5.
Well, this is the issue that, and we're just starting, we're all in a learning curve here.
If you're willing to work with roundtables, I'm okay with that.
That's fine.
Okay.
Because they have to set up.
Yep,
They have to
we
set
don't have a
up.
problem.
Okay, so that's a logistic problem that we can, between the two, you know, between you and the group, to be able to.
Yep.
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
First of all, do you have a person that is Board of Health certified to handle food? You will need someone who is board certified for food handling. If you're going to be handling,
The food is gonna come prepackaged.
it does not matter. You have to have.
Okay, we will get this.
But the Board of Health, you
We will,
need.
we will get somebody, we will get somebody.
The other issue I have is having outsiders, open to the public.
Yeah, right now, it's not. Because of the wall, it's not, the Brookridge is not open to the public right now. Depending on when they change the rules, then we would try and see if we can have it open to the public.
And you're saying that it is just strictly a club where you will keep all the money? You'll distribute all the money?
We're not distributing money, we're distributing meat. We're buying the meat, we're bringing it here, we're gonna put it in the refrigerator. Okay, the meat's already prepackaged from either Carlisle or Murphy or Publix, wherever we get it from. We would have it put in the refrigerator, and then we have little cards. One is a picture of a beef, one is a picture of a chicken, one is a picture of a ham. And the person gets to pick whether they want steak, whether they want ham, whether they want chicken, or bacon, or whatever happens to be that week, because we try to get the best buy that week. And that's kept in the refrigerator until all of it's given out. And then there's 2 bonus rounds where they'll get a little bit more. Maybe they'll get a chicken and a hamburger. And that would be bonus rounds, there's 2 on the.
You know, the other issue I have is simply that I'm not comfortable with this kind of thing. I'm not. Because it's almost like setting Brookridge up as a place to gamble. And since the American Legion down the street has a stake shoot every week.
We have bingo, is bingo a form of gambling?
But in the case of the bingo, if you understand, all the proceeds from bingo go back to the community.
All the proceeds.
Fernando County, the bingo, the Friday night bingo that distributes things to nonprofits. Our Tuesday night bingo is divided between nonprofits and scholarships for Fernando High School students.
That's who they choose to give it to. We choose in our club to give it back to residents of Brookridge. In a
Okay, thank you for explaining that to me.
That we're just giving it back. I prefer to give it back to the residents of Brookridge who can use the food.
That sounds like an amenable thing, and giving food back. Yes, it does. I just would
Oh, I
be,
understand.
I
Oh, no,
understand, you
I
know,
understand.
with all the stuff,
I
you
do.
have the
Oh, yes.
VFW, you have the American Legion, you have, well, the Moose Club doing steak shoots.
Right, and they're good, they're great, but ours is gonna be good.
Okay.
Okay, Pat,
Thank you. It says that you'll need the fridge, so everything will be, the 28 prizes will be fresh each week, or
Yes,
will you
we are
need a
picking
freezer?
No, we are picking them up fresh from either Carlisle, Murphy. We had to get the approval first before we approached Carlisle and Murphy and Publix to work a deal with us. Because we want to make sure that the Brookridge residents realize the product is coming from these places. So that just brings more noticeability to us and to the places in our vicinity, in our neighborhood.
Okay, and, when you buy 28 prizes, are you going to have enough entrance fees to cover that cost?
There's no entrance,
The $8.
$8 per person, we figured it out. If you've got $8 per person, then you've got 50 people. Okay? You're giving one each round that they win. So there's 28 rounds, 28,
And you're pretty confident that you'll cover your costs?
oh,
Because
yeah.
it's a gamble for you.
But it's $8 a flat fee of $8.
But if you get 30 people, you've only got $240.
Yeah, then we go out by $240 worth of, we're going to work it out.
Okay.
Where are you gonna, where do you plan on storing it prior to Sunday?
We're not, we're hoping to bring it in Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. Or Sunday morning, I'll put it in my refrigerator at home. Or maybe I might not be able to do that, I don't know.
See, there are issues with bringing stuff in and storing it here, because of the fact that you have, people using the fridge,
Uh-huh,
okay, on Saturday
okay,
or even Saturday night.
okay.
So
If we bring it in box, in other words, putting meat into a box. And then
there might not be enough room in the fridge because some nights, social days will bring in champagne or wine. You'll have, line dancing using the fridges, okay, with their stuff. And even with clubs that perform for Saturday night, they have use of the hall or use of the fridges, so they might be compromised. I'm just saying they might be compromised.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Can I just step in here? This is another issue that we have, that we're straight, we're all new, Lou's never done it before. She did this, I'm realizing Jerry's been in the hospital, so I would feel much more comfortable tabling this until we have, because all of these questions that are being asked should have been asked before the meeting. And normally, normally what happens is that when Petroni gives us the information on the new clubs, it goes to the president, and the president talks to Vince, he would talk with you, he would get all of this information. The first we knew was when it came on the agenda. So I apologize, and I know Jerry's just coming back, and he knew that it could be, that there might be some issues. I would feel much more comfortable this is one that has to be tabled. Because it was on the agenda, we didn't know until Friday night that we didn't want you to say, no, we don't want you to come. So if you don't, I would like, I forgot who seconded my motion. I forgot who did, but I would like to make a motion to table it. And then Jerry can have you ladies come in the office, because there's a lot of logistics. And Vince needs to have more information, because some of the questions that Vince
And
has.
I'm glad because now I can go together and answer some of the person's questions.
Right. And what might be the best thing is to have a discussion with Vince, at some point, not right now, but after the meeting. And what, check out these logistics, because that, and there's some other questions, and Jerry can, I know he's been writing things down, and he can address it with you before the next meeting.
It's fine.
One more thing, Vince is gonna have a class, all right, Vince, on the food vending license for Florida. And I would think maybe you could have two-man concept, two people, one can't make it, the other's all there.
Okay,
I'll
that'd
be
be
coming
great.
up pretty soon, we'll all take this test. I'm thinking again too, because I'm be certified to work in that kitchen.
Okay,
Yeah, in order to go into the kitchen, the health department has to.
fine.
Yeah, and these are some of the issues that would normally be, would be checked out before it came to the.
That'd be fine.
And the one thing topic is, when you put the meat in the refrigerator, bottom shelf only,
Okay,
no upper shelf.
okay,
Because with the license, the leaks, we got a problem.
Okay,
Bottom shelf only for meat.
okay.
thank you.
Okay, the main thing I'm concerned about was liability to Brookridge. So that's what we got, that's the issue, that's when we need to take.
Reason he's saying liability is that, if the meat's bad.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And we would have to, and that's another.
That's why I'm trying to go to Carlisle and Murphy.
But that's why, these are the questions that would normally be.
That's perfect.
answered.
Okay.
I thank you for,
Thank you very much.
Thank you for explaining what a steak shoot is. I've seen it, but I never knew what exactly it entailed. Thank you for enlightening me.
And you're free, fill your freezer.
Would that be a bow and arrow or something?
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions? Okay, no, okay, she's coming up.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Gil, would you table your motion?
I would, and get more information before the next meeting. I don't know who was the second? Rick, would you second them?
Okay, all in favor of tabling the motion, raise your right hand.
Aye.
Say aye. Any opposed?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, carries unanimously. Okay, next thing on the agenda is a report of directors. Does anybody have anything to report?
Sure.
Okay, Val, boy.
Okay, so social committee met, and we are going forward with a Father's Day poker run. So this event will be $5 a hand. You use your golf cart. We're hoping to have a food truck maybe at the end because it is Father's Day, and you can purchase a meal there. We'll tell you more about that once we have it figured out. But we will also have, for those that don't have a cart, some of the residents are volunteering to ride share so that you can play. And we hope to get a big turnout because as we use this for a fundraiser, 50% of it will go towards the 3 cash prizes, but the other half will help fund the 4th of July pool party. Thank you.
Does anybody else?
I just have a question. The poker run is going to strictly be in Brookridge?
Strictly in Brookridge, by Brookridge residents, no public per se, but I'm not gonna check your driver's license in case your sister's in town, so gotta pay the $5.
It said golf cart, so it has to be in the park.
Yes, it has to be in the park. And we might allow a motorcycle or a car, but you'd have to wait until the very end, because golf carts, of course, are slow moving, and we're gonna have like 5 golf carts go off at the same time to the same place. The object is to have the best hand, not a time thing, not a gimmick rally where you have to scavenger hunt.
Val, how many stops do we have? 7 stops?
We're
7 cars
hoping
or
for
5 cars?
7 stops,
7 stops.
and we actually would love to have a volunteer, or 7 volunteers, to hand out cards. So if you want to step up to the plate and help, like your house is next to the thoroughfare, or you're in a nice corner, we wouldn't pick 2 houses next to each other, but to be a place to give out cards. So the 7 stops.
Any other committee reports?
Beautification committee has purchased more plants on the boulevard, and they've been out there working. And I know Ernie Patterson has been watering all of the new plants. We have the knockout roses, and that's what the other ones are.
Bottle brush trees.
Bottle brush, the miniature bottle brush, like those that are under the sign. They're both very hardy. They didn't get killed over our bad frost. So they're diligently working at that, and we are accepting donations because the clubs really helped us out, and we haven't had any club activity for the last year. So we're being scrawny with the mulch and things like that because our funds are depleting. So that's the only report I have.
Can you buy
The front sign of all these, that looks beautiful. All the plants,
Thank you.
really, it shines up there. I feel like it's a plug of that. People are saying, well, the weeds and everything, it looks good. And it stays nice because they commit themselves to take care of it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll pass it on Thursday.
Okay, any other director committee comments?
I just have a comment about the garage sale we had at the events club. We have a lot of residents asking us, why can't we do it every week? Believe it or not. So, it's not happening. But the events club is going to present something to the board in the future about putting these on, maybe 2 of them a year, 3 of them a year, for outside garage sale. It helps the people. They drop stuff off and we can't give it back. We try to sell it. And on the table we have at the men's club, it's a $1 table. You want 5 for free, you take 5 for free. We want to get rid of it for the residents, and we had a great time. Crafty Stitchers were out there. They had 3 tables, and they had a great time. So people made some money out there that they're going to give for the residents, and I thank everybody for coming, and the men's club and the board for them having. Thank you.
And this is, and we have those garage sales because we cannot have garage sales. I know people want garage sales and yard sales in the community. Our roads are not wide enough to have that. So that's the reason why we do them up at the clubhouse, and I thank the men's club for taking that on.
Okay, do we have any more comments?
Nobody?
Motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn. Oh, we have another comment. I couldn't see you because you got this thing. Yeah, yes.
It'll blink.
Am I on?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear me. Okay, my name is Rebecca Reynolds. I think I'm being at 3. Not sure how they do that. Anyway, I think it was about 2.5 weeks ago, we had a whole lot of rain on a Sunday. We were actually at church and we came in and our garage was flooded. Behind the back of our yard is, of course, another yard, and in that yard is a pipe, an open pipe.
and I noticed that the house further up has all his downspouts in the ground. And would like to have that checked, because I think he's funneling his rain gutters into that pipe, which runs, we're on a hill, it runs down into our yard, and then, of course, runs down into our garage and flooded it out. I do have pictures.
What street do you live on?
Rialto, 14232.
1432.
No, 14232. And, I can get you the address of the other house we got. He's also on Rialto, but the other Rialto, there's like 3 of them.
Okay.
So,
And what will happen, Rebecca, is that Jerry,
Okay, we'll take a look at this,
Yeah.
we can see exactly what's going on.
okay,
would you like us to take the pictures now?
they're on my phone. Is there like
Okay.
an email or something where I can send them to?
Recording secretary
Yeah, send it to the recording secretary, and it's,
Okay, I don't have a pen. I'll get
yeah,
your,
she'll get, yeah.
I'll get your, email when I'm done.
And the way that Jerry does this is that he will speak with, Captain Schubert, and they'll call you in, or they'll go visit you. So that's what Jerry's been, well,
Yeah,
now that he's back in commission.
I like to what's going on with, what's
Okay,
going
well,
on
I'll
with
send you the
myself.
pictures. We're actually leaving on Friday to go back home, we're part-timers.
That's okay.
So,
Okay,
but,
that's
it's
okay.
outside, so
Yeah, it's
you can obviously go look at it, and then you can look at the house, and I have pictures of that too.
Okay,
And, if that's what's happening, okay, but I just noticed, A plus B and figured maybe C, and that was why you're having it. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you could send them to the recording secretary, to Arlene, okay, that's her email address. We'll all get them, and then Jerry and Greg will go out and physically look at it, because he likes to look at all the information.
Okay, all right, will do, thank you.
okay, thank you.
Rebecca, can you also give Arlene your phone number? That when you're away, that Jerry can get in touch with you?
Sure, put it in the email, that'll be perfect, thank you.
Okay, any other member comments? Okay.
My name is Kathy Smartick. Can you hear me?
You have to, Kathy, you have to, this way.
Got it. There, okay. My name's Kathy Smirnick, and I'm neighbors with Reynolds. I have a water problem too, but it's a different one. I also was flooded the last rainstorm about 2.5 weeks ago. I live next to the new one on the corner of Midmore and Rialto. It's a very tiny lot and a very, very large mobile home. And they were new as of the 1st of November. And they just are, their landscaping isn't done or anything. And basically, it has washed out one whole side of my landscaping. I'm having $600 worth of gravel dropped off at my house today to try to make it right. I've already spent a whole bunch of money, but from talking to the people, they don't have the money to fix up their yard correctly. They have no gutters except on their carport. And they did turn them because they were facing towards me, and I would have been washed completely off my foundation. I'm telling you, this is a monster next to me. It floods Rialto for several months. Every time it would rain, Rialto's like 5 driveways past
Back to
mine.
the one.
Okay, they would all get all the sand in them because of the flooding. It's bad. It's really bad.
What's your address?
14224.
Have you have you addressed this problem with, code enforcement?
Yes.
Okay,
They told me to come here today.
okay,
Okay.
you're here.
I'm here.
Jerry will do the same thing with you.
And I do have pictures also. And when they were moving this, we call it the whale in there. What they did was they had like little bobcats putting in, moving the dirt and the sand around. And they'd come up on my property. Well, I knew they had to do it, and that's fine. I'm a good neighbor. I don't mind if you do stuff like that. But at least put it back, or at least come over and say, hey, I'll help you. But, I'm afraid the next couple rains, it's gonna undermine my, sidewalk.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have $600 worth of gravel coming today, and it's because of that.
Keep the receipts. Keep the receipts. Jerry will talk to you about that.
Thank you.
Can you also give Arlene your phone number too? Are you full-time?
Yes.
Okay.
She already got, oh.
Yeah, what?
No, that's a different lady.
Any other member comments?
No, she doesn't. Do you or not? No.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Any second? Second by Rich Stratton. All in favor of adjourning? Raise your right hand.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.